Well, from the attorney legal product perspective, I hire people who are smarter than me. I hire attorneys who are more tapped in. When I look at it, I'm looking for attorneys who are either have more experience or have more relevant experience or close in time experience. Like I haven't stepped foot in a courtroom in 3 years, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I want to know what's going on in the courtroom all the time. Now, for my specific setup, it's not my job to know what's going on legally. It's Jimmy's job because he's the head of legal. The way that he manages this is he has, first of all, we build systems so that no one can deviate. There's no opportunity to deviate from the right law way of doing things. And then in order to change those systems, we're doing continual feedback loops. So every single week, Jimmy is meeting with our case managers individually, talking with them, seeing how the systems are going, see what the clients are going through. He has those high-level meetings. Every single week, we're having meetings with our attorneys. It's a one staffing meeting that we have where it's about an hour and a half. We work through all of the cases. We talk about the case law. We're building up. And in each of these meetings, our chief technical officer, Brandon, also sits in so that if he hears anything that comes up, even though he may not understand the legal ramifications, he can tweak the system to adjust to what we need. And then Jimmy meets with our legal assistants every week. So we have compartmentalized meetings each week, and they're not meant to be pro forma meetings where it's just sitting there checking off a list. We're going over specific case issues. So it's really more case staffing. And that's how our C-suite team stays involved in the cases themselves and make sure that we understand what's going on. And then we have, we operate on Slack. So if there's ever an emergency kind of issue come up, or if there's something that the DA start doing that's just crazy sauce, we can put it in a fire channel and say, hey, this is something we need to address. And then we all just hop on and brainstorm together. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Yeah. I think that's the reason I wanted to ask you is because, every firm's different and there's different viewpoints on that specific thing. And so that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because you are in a pretty unique position where I think Brett Tremblay calls it the owner's box, right? Where you're sort of like in the owner's box. And Jim and I, we've talked about this quite a bit about the owner's box and how we don't think it's truly possible to just be in the owner's box. And I don't think you're truly in the owner's box either. I think because you are tapped in. I think if you were truly in the owner's box, you'd have zero contact with anybody in the firm and you'd just be sitting there collecting profits. That's why we think that the whole idea of it is a little bit, it's not possible for the most part when it comes to running a law firm. For anyone,
if you don't care to be involved, but then you don't have as much control over what's going on. And I guess for me, I don't need control. I just want to make sure that we are presenting ourselves in the correct way to our community. We're serving our clients in the best way. So I come at it more from just doing a little check, but I think it also goes back to that people conversation of hiring the best people, because when you have a good team, you can trust that 95% of the time they're going to be able to run it for you. But I think you're right. I think if I wasn't married to the person running the firm, it would be a very different feeling and I would feel much more disconnected. But that just means you got to marry well.
That's so true. Very true. That's a really good point though, because I can't imagine my guess is that you, if you were not married to the person that's running the firm, basically, that you wouldn't do it. You would still be more tapped in, is my guess.
Probably. It's interesting because there are some weeks that we don't discuss much of the firm, except for, we've also done a good job because when we first started, you know how it goes. You've got everything going on in the firm and then you bring it all home and then you're never getting away from it. You never have time to just be married and it's exhausting. So we've also had it kind of separated out where the firm actually hired my law firm consulting company as a consultant. So we have specific meetings where that's where our time is spent, where I'm talking with Jimmy and Brandon about what's going on in the firm. And we try to keep it boxed in there and treat it. I mean, it helps for tax purposes too, so we have a clean delineation, but we try to keep it pretty compartmentalized so that we're not blurring those lines. But I do think the being married and tapped into the person running it is essential for what I'm doing.